Hey guys, I wanted to really do that draw my life tag, but I don't have the equipment or the knowledge or any of that stuff to actually draw it out and have a voiceover. So I'm gonna try my best to keep this short and speak my life to you guys for those who wanna learn a little bit more about me. So anyway, contrary to popular belief, I was actually born in Pakistan. I was 1989 and I was a March baby, and I was born in Lahore. My parents, I was their first daughter but second child. For the first 5 years, I went to kindergarten in Boston, Massachusetts, and all I remember is a blonde boy named Justin that I really had a crush on, and I have no idea where he is now. But ever since I can remember, I have been a tomboy. I have not cared about hair, makeup, dresses, anything like that. Shalwar kameez, which is like the Pakistani clothing. I've always been like jeans, t-shirt, shorts, like whatever. I remember in about 4th grade is when I started getting made fun of, and it was mostly like being hairy and like not, threading yet, not waxing, like I wasn't allowed to, and people called me like Samhara to be like cruel or whatever. And every day I would come home like wishing that I was white. Like I literally would wish that I was a white girl so I would not have dark hair or any hair or whatever. 6th grade, one of my PE teachers, which is like a gym for like the elementary school, they encouraged me to do like track and basketball because of my height. I actually never thought that I could join a team. I never had like the, I guess, confidence to do that. And Miss Kirkland was her name, and she actually got me to do it. I think I sucked really bad, but she liked me enough that she just put me on the team. I had my first party. My parents let the basketball team come over one night before our last game, and we ordered pizza, and I made like invites the day before at school, and I passed them out. Like I printed them offline, like, or whatever, and that was a big deal. We played like Nintendo or whatever at my house. Okay, 7th grade is when 9/11 happened. I was actually in 3rd period in geography class, and this bitch of a teacher, Miss Chandler, and she like hated everyone hated her. She was just very miserable, so she pretty much made everybody else miserable. We were in her class, and I remember the TVs came on and like everyone got quiet, and they're like watching the news, and like something's happening, and all the adults were freaking out, and the kids and I were just like, we're 12 years old, so we're kind of like, what the hell's going on? And I remember the next day in school, or the next day at home, my parents were like afraid to let anybody go to school. Like all my siblings and I stayed home. Nobody went anywhere. And I didn't understand why. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that we were under attack as a country. Like we were all in danger. And the following few weeks were the worst weeks I think I've probably experienced at a young age, because I would walk through school, and by then I guess everyone had like claimed it was Muslims or whatever they said, and I was pretty much like one of 2 Muslims at that school. It was only like a 7th and 8th grade school, so there's only 2 classes, and you can imagine like maybe a total of 400 people. And every single person, it seemed like, who was my friend suddenly couldn't be around me, and everyone just looked at me differently. They all knew like my background, so I remember being asked if I'm Muslim, and I started lying and saying that I was Christian because I was so afraid of being hurt or being like kidnapped or something. So I lied to like everyone, and I was just afraid to walk home. My parents started picking me up. Like it was a really scary time. And I remember one specific time I was in the lunchroom, and I was walking to get my tray. Like I got my food and I was walking back, and like someone threw milk at me, and an administrator actually saw this, and they didn't do anything. They turned around, and I just went to the bathroom and cried. Like I felt really alone. Like I had like really no friends. And anyway, so 8th grade, the beginning of 8th grade, I told my parents I did not want to go back to school. I did not want to go to that school. And my uncle, who was in Boston, the same uncle that we lived with growing up, told me that I should come to an Islamic school and try out like the system there and see how that goes, because not only can I be knowledgeable in Islam and learn, like it's like almost like Catholic school but Islamic school. You get your basic studies, you're still learning English, math, all that kind of stuff, but you also get a great amount of knowledge about your own religion and just the the Prophet's teachings and everything like that. So for the first like 6 months I did great. Like I made all these new friends. I finally, actually the first few months they were iffy, because I'm a very like joking person, so like I'll call you loser, or I'll be like, hey, what's up, ew, but I'm kidding, like that means I like you, And there was one girl named Sarah, and she, to this day I still keep in touch with her. She was amazing and funny, just like me. She was understanding of my humor, and we would joke together. However, one of her closer friends, who I guess was younger, but in Islamic school it's common to like skip you up a grade if you're really smart, or if you take a certain exam, like you get to be pushed up a grade. And this younger girl didn't like me. She thought I was just a fresh person coming in from Florida, thinking she owns the school, she can talk to people how she wants, and she thinks she's so funny. I never meant to be like that. I was just trying to make friends and be funny and comfortable. Even though my cousins went to my school, we were all broken up in different categories. Like they were younger and older, and I was like in the middle. So I never really had like them with me in class. I only saw them like at lunch or prayer. And I made friends. I had a good amount of friends, but that one girl seemed to be like a leader almost in that little classroom, because it was like 8 people at the most. It was not a big classroom, and everyone just seemed to like take their time to kind of ease in and get to know me, and it was like because of her. And eventually she liked me. She realized that I'm not trying to be anything else. Like, she accepted me finally, and then everyone was great. Fast forward 6 months, I loved it there. I made all these friends. I even had like my first like boyfriend or whatever, but really it was like, you like me, I like you, that was it. Like, there was nothing going on. And my mom got sick. She had like a ulcer or something, I don't even remember, but she got really sick and asked for me to come home. And I went back home, and I was really devastated because I was so happy there. I felt like I finally fit in somewhere. Anyway, so I go back home, and I'm back in that fucking school that I did not want to go back to. And when I'm in that school, one girl specifically who lived in my mom's, like, our parents' neighborhood, she remembered me, and she, like, I guess the cool thing in 8th grade is like when you know someone that no one else knows, it's like a cool thing. So she was like, oh my god, Sam, because everyone used to call me Sam during middle school. I don't know where it came from, but Sam and Sammy was like the name I was known by. And I don't even remember how it started, but anyway, she was like, Sam, oh my god, and like she loved me and like came and hugged me. And so I was like, okay, maybe this whole like being afraid thing is over. So I decided that year that when high school came around, 9th grade, I was gonna wear hijab, and I really wanted to own who I was instead of hiding and lying and being afraid. I felt like if you own up to what you are or whatever, no one can put you down or be afraid, or you can't be afraid of them because you're openly saying like, F you, like I don't care what you think, I am who I am, this is who I'm gonna be, this is what I'm doing, this is what I represent. So I purposely wore hijab summer of 8th grade going into like 9th grade, so like July 2004 or something. And I wore it, and my first experience was in Target. I was like literally hiding in clothes rack, and I was really afraid. I was like uncomfortable. I mean, my mom didn't even wear it. Like, nobody in my family wore a hijab. It was just me. And I'm sitting there like I was walking around Target, and I'm just kind of like out of my norm. It was my very first time going outside in public, and I'm not a person who likes attention, like to get stared at or be like flaunted at or gawked at or whatever. And wearing the hijab, you know, you obviously get stared at because you're different. Like, you're a very like different person walking around. So I got lots of attention that I just did not want, but I ignored it, and I made it through my first time. And then by the time high school came around, the good thing about 9th grade, a lot of people come from everywhere. So I mean, I don't think I was the only hijabi there, but I was the first one in that class, and it was okay. Like 9th grade, I got made fun of a lot. I was like in an academy, so basically first period through 6th period, you see the same 20 people over and over and over. And this one African-American girl who was really overweight and really mean, she was a bitch basically. She like was the same as the girl in like 8th grade. She was like the clan leader, and she just wanted to make fun of me. She called me Osama bin Laden's daughter, Samara bin Laden. Anything she could think of that like terrorist or you're the terrorist, like whatever it was, she always targeted me, and all her little friends and posse like followed along with her and laughed at her. So anyway, we ended up like, I guess the girl ended up getting bored of making fun of me because I don't remember it happening until the very end. But anyways, 10th grade was my favorite year because I met my 2 best friends that year. One was a white girl, one was a Hispanic girl, and I'm still friends with them to this day. Like, I love these 2 girls so much. Like, they were my first real friends because up until then I only had Muslim friends from the masjid, which was an hour away from my house. So imagine, like, I don't get to hang out with them except for Sunday school. I only saw them in Sunday school. And anyway, so I have these 2 best friends, and I'm starting to actually be really happy. Like, I don't know if I was ever depressed, but I was just like I never knew what I was missing till I finally found it. And just having friends at school was amazing. Like, having people to talk to, not just people in class, but like lunch and like the hallways and meeting up and passing notes and having journals and switching all this stuff. Like, we had 3 different journals we finished in 1 year because we would write notes and switch them like in the hallway for like the next period and stuff. And that was a great experience for me. Like, I wasn't used to that ever. Like, most of these girls had done all this like, you know, prior in their other schools years and stuff. I never had that. So anyway, that year was also really sad because the same friend, one of the Hispanic girl, the same friend that and she actually lived in my neighborhood. So like, we all had like, we were just really, really close. Like, we would go walking and talking and all that kind of stuff. Like, none of us drove. So I mean, she's in my neighborhood. Like, I could see her whenever I wanted to. And she and I had one mutual friend from different like places. And this girl was like an Italian, beautiful, outgoing girl. And she was actually epileptic. So January of 2005 was really, really tough for me because her and I, all 3 of us were in some kind of like argument or something stupid on AIM. I don't even remember. And basically, our friend had decided that she wanted to commit suicide, but didn't tell anybody. No one knew, no one saw it coming, like no one could guess it. And that same day we were supposed to all go running, like to be healthy or something. And my friend and I, the one who was closer to her, we like went to her house to like go get her and go running and kind of like end our argument, like, okay, let's just get over it, let's just go run. And it turned out that she had committed suicide, and we were the first ones to find her because nobody was home. Her little brother, her parents, nobody was home. So we actually, at 15 years old, my friend was 16, I was 15, we're dealing with a dead body. Like, I remember exactly what she looks like, and I remember everything about that day. I got my period because I had to run all the way home to get my mom and get my friend's mom. And as I'm running, I'm panicking and crying and freaking the hell out. And my period just came. Like, I remember it was like just so traumatic. And my grandma actually was alive during that time. And ironically, she was living in our house, like, just to stay with us for a couple of months. And for the next 4 months, I had my grandma sleep in my bed because I was so afraid of what I saw. And like at 15, like, I just didn't know how to feel. And like, I was really angry for a long time because I felt it was selfish. I understood her pain. Like, I mean, I didn't understand firsthand, but I know everyone goes through things, and that's why I'm so sensitive to suicide, and I love people so much. It's part of because of this. Like, I've always been caring and loving, but this actually, I felt like it happened to me for a reason. Like, I saw that for a reason. Like, there's something about that day that was meant to be for me and my friend, and because of that, I feel very like I have some kind of experience and knowledge to how to deal with this kind of stuff, because I didn't cry that day. I cried that night when I went back to my original friend's house to like grieve with her and like figure out the funeral stuff and talk to the parents and all that kind of stuff. So basically, the friend and I who found her, we got a lot closer because that was actually her other best friend. So it's like now we have this like connection that no one else will ever understand to this day. Like, nobody will ever understand that, and it's really, really crazy. But I mean, you learn from everything, and it's sad that she did that, and like I've forgiven her. I've moved on from that whole situation. I was like in 10th grade, but it was just the worst time in my high school career. I can say that for sure. And anyway, so I'll just fast forward to maybe some happier things now. 11th grade was pretty boring. The only exciting thing would be that like I had my first boyfriend, which here's why this goes with why I took off hijab. I had a Filipino boyfriend, like, for the first time. I've never kissed a guy. Like, I'm 17, I've never kissed a guy. I've always had, like, boyfriends who were like, oh, you're my girlfriend, I'm your boyfriend. Like, but they're Muslim, so it's like, we just had each other. This was my first legit, like, I'm lying to my parents. I've never, like, lied to my parents before. The first guy that I kissed, the first guy that I'm, like, sneaking, like, not sneaking out, but, like, I had a license by then, so when I say I'm at the mall, I'm at his house, like, that kind of, like, lying or whatever. And I was 17 when I kissed him. I didn't even know how to kiss. Like, he like taught me how to kiss. Like, I didn't even know. And anyway, that was like the highlight of that year, I guess. And like, I guess prom and stuff was going on, but I never attended any proms or any homecomings or anything. 12th grade was, I guess the only big part in 12th grade was that, well, okay, there's actually a lot. The end of 11th grade, whenever he and I were breaking up, and like I know it wasn't gonna go anywhere, like we were just done with each other, whatever, I was actually still like, I had feelings for him and he didn't have them for me anymore. And I know he was really like, I don't know what it was, but basically I did something really, really stupid, and I just like, I learned about stuff in my AP psychology class, like some girls are bulimic, some girls don't eat, and some girls take laxatives to get rid of their food for the day. It's like binge eating, and then you just get rid of it. Like, you take it and it all just comes out. So basically, I did that, even though I learned what girls do that you're not supposed to do and like how to help them, and it's like a psychology class. I took that as something to do, and I did that for about a year and a half, and I became like a size 2, and I was really like skinny and unhealthy, and my face was like sunken in. By the way, like Ramadan had come and gone, so I was fasting at the same time. My mom was the first one to notice, and I had to like tell her pretty much what was going on, and that's why now, like today, I'm so pro healthy and pro working out, because I've tried losing weight before. I mean, obviously not this time, but like since then. And when you do something stupid like that, which it's very stupid, when you stop, or you finally like can stop, your body doesn't go back to like, I was a 7 when I began that whole process, and I became a 2 because I just kept doing it. When you stop and go back to being normal, you're not a 7 again. You're like a 9, 10, because your body is not used to holding any kind of nutrients, and it blows up. It's the worst thing any girl or any guy can do to themselves. It's just not a good thing. And anyway, so don't ever do that, guys. But I did that in about 11th, 12th grade, and the other part of 12th grade was that my hijab came off, because I don't do anything that's not genuine or sincere. If I feel fake, or if I feel like I'm getting praised for things that are not supposed to be praised for, I felt hypocritical. Like, I'm over here with a secret boyfriend, I'm kissing him. To me, kissing is like sex. Like, kissing is a big deal to me. To this day, I've only kissed 3 people in my whole life. Anyway, so that was going on, and I don't know, it feels like I'm everywhere, like I'm jumping around and stuff, and I'm sorry it's getting pretty long. But anyway, so I took off my hijab right before graduation, so I went the whole year wearing it, and then actually, me and my girlfriends played Powder Puff, which is like a girl-on-girl football team with flag football, and we actually won. The seniors beat the juniors. You're supposed to play the grade below you. That was like one of my most memorable times of high school too, because my shirt, when I made it with the team, said hijabi, and my number was 3. That's my favorite number. And by the time the game came for the big day, I had become not a hijabi, so it was really funny and like really stupid. But anyways, I graduated in 2007. Then I went to college and everything, but I didn't move away. I was always like local. Like I did community college, and then I went to UNF, and then I'm back at the community college, which now became a 4-year university or whatever. Anyway, so that's like the highlight of my growing up life. Something that happened more recently, 2009 is when I met Donald. Everyone knows, like, I've been with him for like 4 years. What a lot of you guys don't know about me that I haven't mentioned before, but I feel like, I mean, there's no shame. It's just part of my life. I just never wanted to talk about it before because it doesn't only involve me. But people who personally know me know about this, but my YouTube world has not known until now. My parents actually got divorced in 2009. And this was the bottom of the bottom for me. Like, if anyone knows how much I love my parents, to see them not together, it was just really, really heartbreaking. I'm close to both of them, so I didn't want to pick one over the other, but my dad actually has polio, so I wanted to live with him just naturally because he really, I mean, he can't take care of himself. He does it, like, he does. He's a great, like, hardworking, amazing person. But I'm his daughter. Like, I cook for him. I used to make him chai when I lived at home. Like, I was the girl who, like, all of the girls, actually, all my sisters and I, like, we love taking care of our dad. In fact, he would, like, be sitting, and anybody, if he needs water, like, we get up for him and get it because we don't want him to have discomfort getting up, you know what I mean? So anyway, I really, really was devastated that happened, but I understood why, and I know that it needed to happen. I admit that it needed to happen because when you take something for granted and you don't realize what the problem is, the only way to really appreciate it is when it's completely gone, when you don't have it anymore. So with 2009, my mom and I and my sisters, we kind of like stayed together or whatever, and we went through 4 different houses in 2 months. Like, in 2 months, we moved 4 different times, and it was really difficult. I can't even explain, like, how difficult it was, but it kind of, if you guys are still listening, it kind of makes sense to why I am the way I am now, because before all this happened, I never really disobeyed my parents. I never had, like, the guts or any reason to stand up to them or be like, oh, I'm gonna just do this, I hope you understand. When this all happened, a year after, so 2010, my parents got back together. This is a happy story. Like, they worked it out, whatever, like, they ended up back together, and it was amazing. Like, it's beautiful, and now they're still together. They're actually happier now than they ever have been in their life. Like, they go on dates now and stuff, which never happened before. And during this time, the friend I felt was my best friend, the closest friend to me, we had just fallen apart. There was things going on in both of our lives that we just weren't there for each other, and I lost my best friend, and I lost my parents as a couple. And Donald is a big part of why I was still okay, why I still felt like I had someone who went above and beyond to make sure I was okay besides my parents. Just the one person who, like, really was there for me. So he plays a big part of me growing up, because I was 19, 20 when this all happened, so he's been like my rock. Like, Donald's the best guy that I've ever met in my life, and I'm talking about, like, lashing out, doing things with no excuse, no reason, because I'm simply hurting. I just would freak out and, like, be mad or just, you know, have an attitude for no reason, and any person could have gotten fed up and retaliated, said anything. They know my weaknesses, they know everything about me. They could have easily shut me up by being like an asshole, you know? And every single time, he simply hugged me until I cried and finally just broke down and admitted that I was just hurting. And I just could never thank him enough for that, I guess. But anyway, another happy thing about this whole situation, that same friend and I who lost touch, we actually became friends again in 2011, so a whole year later. We missed one birthday of each other. This is the same friend, by the way, that I, like, found the friend who had passed away. Like, this is the same girl, like, that close of a friend. And we became better friends in 2011 to now. Like, we're closer, we're way more honest with each other. We're just on a different level of respect because we know how it feels. Like, we went through a divorce. Like, we know how it feels to have lost each other and then come back and found each other. And that was a big part of my life as well as my adult life, because I never like really lost a friend before. I'm one of the best people I know about keeping in touch with everyone and like having the same relationships like for years and years. So to not have a relationship anymore that I really wanted but didn't know how to go approach and fix and just how to start over, I didn't know how to do that. And it's funny how we became friends. It wasn't even like we woke up and called each other and just became friends. Something else brought us together that was just ironic and crazy. It had to do with a different friend with a medical condition, and we were in the hospital together. So I mean, we just all came together, and it was just insane. But that's why there's so many reasons why I believe everything happens for a reason, and I don't judge any of you out there, any person in my life. I don't judge anybody, because you never know what someone's been through, and you don't know why they are the way they are today. So for everyone who like always comments or says I should be this way or that way because of my ethnicity or because of my religious background, I just don't have an answer for them, because I'm not here to make sure that they're okay with my life. I'm here to make sure that I'm okay with my life and that I'm happy. And because of everything that my family has gone through as a whole, it's kind of funny because my dad now is so different. He just is just so happy that everyone's back, and like my mom's equally as happy, and it's like they can put aside certain things that they thought they wanted for us when they realized how happy their kids were. And that's part of me moving out and like all this kind of stuff. Like they don't think of it like as typical they see parents. Like they know that if I didn't feel this was a reason worth like bringing up to them and like telling them how serious I am with Donald, then I wouldn't have. Like they know me very well. And I'm not justifying like me like going against like the culture or anything like that because my parents, had to go through that. I'm just saying there's reasons why my family is the way they are. We're very open and loving and caring. And it's almost like sometimes I know about certain people who like probably hate us because we went through hell and back, and now we came out stronger. Like we're even happier than we've ever been. Like my whole family has never been so close as they are right now. And I feel like a lot of people, it's sad they can't say that. They can't say that. Things happen and it stays like that, and it gets worse and worse. And I just feel so blessed that everything happened the way it did. I'm glad I went through everything I did, because that's pretty much what made me who I am now and gave me all this confidence, and it made me care less about things that really don't matter, and it made me realize what does matter and how to appreciate it and how to make sure that you make time for people and things that matter, and don't be afraid of anything. Just let life happen, and when it happens, you take control of it. You don't run away or hide or try to cry or just sit in a corner. You embrace it and you do the best you can with what you're given. So anyway, presently I got my associate's degree, and I'm going to be going to school in fall to finish up my bachelor's, and I'm just working, and I live with Donald still. We have 2 puppies, so that's about it for my life, and I'm sorry this was so long, but if you care to watch, and you did, thank you very much, and that's it. So thanks guys, bye.